And good evening, and welcome to another edition of Telling It Like It Is with me and with myself, Ralph Williams, and Leo Haggerty. And I'll be bringing Leo up in just a moment here. All right, here we go. Leo, how are you today?
Well, I'll tell you, I like that intro music. That's fabulous.
Oh yeah, now we're going to do that for all of our for every one of the Telling It Like It Is shows. It's great to have you on again tonight. Another Friday night, another night of the Telling It Like It Is show. And we're brought to you in part by our studio consultant, First Line Consultant Services studios here in Pittsburgh. And also we're brought to you by RW Media, Amped Up Sports as well. And First Line Consultant Studios is a company that will put a website together for you. Call them today, 1-877-926-6982. And they will not only put it together for you, they'll manage it, upload your videos, do everything that you need at one low monthly price. That number again, 1-877-926-6982. And our newest sponsor is Sleep Pittsburgh. Call Sleep Pittsburgh today, 412-462-7858. I've said it many times. I needed a bed. I called Sleep Pittsburgh. They got me a memory foam mattress at a low price. And get this, it's no credit check financing. They'll do it on the phone, and they'll do it over the internet as well. So you can get on their website at sleeppittsburgh.com and get on their website and check out their inventory. They have day beds. They have futons. They have anything connected with sleep or any kind of living room. They have recliners. They have lift chairs. And they have bunk beds for the kids. As you know, school seasons get ready to start up. You might want to have them in some kind of comfort as they get ready for school. Sleep Pittsburgh, 412-462-7858. They're in Homestead, right on 8th Avenue in the community of Homestead in Allegheny County. One more here, Leo, before we get rolling. Our other sponsor, our newest one, is Bon Journey. They're a cover band, plays Bon Jovi and Journey songs. They will be performing August 19th at Jurgles, which is next Saturday, and August 26th at the Winooski Winery in Bell Vernon. So head out to Jurgles in Warrendale next Saturday. Show starts at 8 o'clock. Doors open at 5. Doors open at 6. Tickets are very affordable. You can head out to Jurgles in Warrendale. Also, August 26th at the Winooski Winery in Bell Vernon. All right. Okay, Leo, let's get this started today. I found out a very bad statistic here in Pennsylvania. We spoke a little bit about teachers last week and the lack thereof. I found out that they used to train and they used to run through 20,000 teachers in 2002. Now they're lucky if they can run 1,000 through the system. This teaching shortage is getting out of control and it's getting out of hand. And they had some union reps from a couple of the school districts on the news lately this week that said that the reason is for 3 reasons: burnout, safety, and lack of pay. Do you believe that to be the case?
Ralph, I'll put it in a different order. Definitely lack of pay, because 50% of all teachers are gone before year 5, and that's because they find out they can make more money in the private sector, especially the science and math teachers. That's a problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Burnout, you know what? I made it for 45 years.
Wow.
And was it the last 5? They were tough. I'll be honest with you. It is not the same educational system that we started in. It's a whole different animal. Once a certain political party figured out that they could make money in education with charter schools and that changed the whole environment with education. But again, the biggest thing is, I imagine you're having the same problem we are up there with bus drivers. We can't find teachers. We started Hillsborough County short 450 teachers and about 200 bus drivers. And you know why? Because you're not paying them. It's supply and demand. If you want to get people in, you've got to pay them. And they don't want to do it. They want to get it on the cheap. And it just, it doesn't make sense. Just school districts, go to your voters. Tell them, we need to pass a referendum where we have a 1% sales tax, which we did in Hillsborough County, and I went before the board and suggested it. Hey, a 1% sales tax referendum for 10 years. It's going to
Uh-huh.
sunset in 10 years, but that money has to strictly go to teacher salary. Starting to solve some problems down here. We still need a little bit more, but at least it's a start.
Right. Well, we also have a problem with school bus drivers up here. In fact, the Pittsburgh public schools are paying almost $25 an hour, and they still can't find people. So it's the kids too, and the parents. Nobody wants to cooperate. Nobody cares, and the parents, they don't want to cooperate. All they want to do is get their kid out of the house so that they can do whatever they're going to do, or if they have to go to work or whatever. All they want to do is get the kids out of the house. I drove a school bus. I you know I pulled up at the bus stop, and these parents couldn't wait to get these kids on the bus and get them out of there and get them to school. And then when they had to come to school to pick them up, we had to sort of, like in the middle of the day, if we had a problem with them or something, uh, they couldn't do it. We had to keep them there in detention somewhere or something because it was crazy. And I had some issues with these kids, and I actually quit, and I went to go take a physical, and the lady says to me, "Sir, you can't drive a bus anymore." I said, "Why? Your A1C is too high for first student standards." I said, "You know what, doctor? You just did me a favor. Thank you, because I was going to quit anyway, but thank you. You just did me a favor." And
Yeah,
I mean, I just couldn't take it for what I was being paid. And the interesting part about it was the year before that, I got spoiled because there was an 85-year-old man working for us, and he was driving a Catholic school run. And them kids were good. They sat there, and they were quiet. They got on. They had their headsets on. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Goodbye, sir. That kind of thing. No bad mouths, no no difficulty with parents, nothing. And then he came back, and I got stuck doing some other kind of route, and it just wasn't working for me.
and you know what, Ralph? I'm going to lay this right on the table of administration.
Oh
The
yeah,
first problem you have on a bus, you pick that kid off for a week. Kick him
right,
off for a week. Make the
right.
parent drive him. But you know what? They don't have the stomach to do that. And that's the sad part about this whole thing. Is they got to stop. Administration has to stop thinking this is Walmart. This is not customer service.
Exactly,
This is
exactly.
education. The,
When
eh,
you and
the
when you and I went to school, I tell you what, man, it was a whole different ballgame. I mean, I'm going to be 55 this year, but still, I'm not that young. And I mean, when I was in school, they didn't take no jive. There was no, letting kids get away with anything. I mean, literally, they would call your parents in 5 minutes, and my mom was real strict with me on stuff. So it wasn't like I went to school and did whatever I felt like it. You know what I mean?
yeah, you did what you felt like, and then you got something felt to your behind when you got
Kind of
home.
behind. Right? Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you know what, Ralph, and we talked about this last week, but
Yes.
someone asked me, what's the difference between when you started teaching in 1976? Is this scary? 76 to
Wow.
today. I said, when you called home, you talked to the parent.
Right.
When you called home now, you talk to an answering machine, you talk to an aunt, you talk to an uncle, grandma.
Right.
Second thing is when you had a problem in school and the parent came in, they were on your side. They were saying, okay, we're going to get this thing straight now. They want to blame you for every problem this kid has.
There is. Yes, exactly, and it's a generational thing. I think. I think a lot of parents these days don't really do a lot. But then there's the argument too from the parents. Well, you know what? I'm not home all the time, or there's some other stuff, or this, that, and whatever. And so there we are with that. And we spoke a little bit about this last week, but I wanted to continue with it to start off the show today.
You know what, Ralph? I can still remember parent conference I had, and this was about let me think, probably 7 8 years ago when I had this parent conference.
Mhm.
And when I had it, the there was all six of his teachers in there with the mom, and I was the last one to speak. And I looked at the mom dead in the eye and said, "You know, your son's a real jerk." And she looked at me and said, "Excuse me?" I said, "No, he's a jerk. He's a problem." And she looked at all the other teachers who had just said their piece and said, "Are you having the same problem?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm thinking back in my mind, why are you not telling this lady this? Don't just stop and just
Exactly. Yes.
lay it out. And I can remember another parent conference I had. The mother comes in and she is irate. She's saying, "Well, you failed my son, and you didn't tell him what he needed to do." And I would send home the first day a list of rules and what was happening, and the kid would sign, the parent would sign it. So I pulled it out and I said, "Is this your signature?" And you could see the kid start to squirm in the seat. And mom looked, "Nope, not my signature." I said, "Well, this is what he handed in." And she gave him that look like, "Oh, are you going to get it when you get home?" Because you just made a fool out of me. So yeah, it is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's a mess these days with this stuff, and as we're getting into the school season, they're saying school materials are getting expensive to buy. A lot of people are here. We have backpack drives, and we have some pencil drives, and school supply things, fill the buses and things like that from some charities. I don't know if that happens down there in Tampa or not, or in the area down there, but I know
Well,
we're doing it here.
it's funny. It happens down here. In fact, we have a whole week where they don't charge sales tax on school supplies, which
Oh
is,
wow.
yeah, really good. In fact, Ralph, the kids started down here Thursday. We're already back into the swing of things.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
one year, and I'll never forget this. We went back as teachers July 28th. And I went in and I said to our union, "This will never happen again." I said, "We are not coming back." And the president of my union said, "Well, why wouldn't you want to be in school? It's too hot to be outside." I said, "Sweetheart, I'm from Jersey. That's shore time."
Right.
You go to the shore till Labor Day. That's it. So we're not coming back in July. I mean, you want to come back
Right.
in August, fine. I can give you that. But I used to tell people that the five good things about education were June, July, August, weekends, and holidays. Now it's part of June, July, part of August, weekends, and holidays.
Right. Well, that's yeah. I have a friend that has his ex-wife and his kids. They live down in St. Augustine, Florida, and I know when they come up to see him in the summertime, they boot out of here around July to get back for school. So I mean, and they stay here. They come up right as school ends, and they stay here the whole summer with them, and then they go back. So I
I
mean,
Ralph, I don't know what it's been like up there that summer, but it has been miserably hot down here.
it's been
Just
right here too. Yes, it has. The
terrible.
humidity's been very, very horrible. We had temperatures in the 90s. Uh, the temperatures kind of went down. We had some rain come through here, but other than that, it's been a scorcher all summer long. My
Yeah,
niece was here yesterday, and I asked her what she did all summer. She said almost nothing. She said I haven't really been around to do. I haven't been doing too much of anything. And she said, "Boy, has it been a hot one?" I said, "Yeah, it has." And,
yeah.
I mean, my 13-year-old niece was telling me about that yesterday. So, I
In
mean,
fact, I had a flat tire yesterday. I
oh,
got on
wow.
the phone. I got on the phone right away to a AAA. And they
Mhm.
said, "Do you have a spare?" I said, "Doesn't matter. This 70-year-old man is not changing a tire in 100-degree heat."
Right, I don't blame you. Oh,
No,
absolutely, I don't blame you. I would.
that's why you buy AAA. Have them
Way,
do it.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah,
anyway, also, we're gonna talk a little bit of sports tonight here on the show. I know we spoke a little bit last week about the college realignment. ACC has turned down Stanford and Cal, for expansion. What's your thoughts on that?
they turned them down. That's a definite.
Yes, they turned them down. Yes, they
Well,
said that at this time. No, they didn't turn them down for good. They said at this time it's not workable for us. That is
well,
what ACC told them.
yeah, and it's not workable. And I don't know if you saw my post, Ralph, but I put up commissioner of the ACC. What does ACC stand for? Atlantic Coast
Yeah.
Conference, not Pacific Coast, and that's what.
Right.
You had Stanford. How would you like to be Stanford and Cal going into the ACC where your closest conference game is Louisville, Kentucky?
Yeah,
That's
I know.
not good.
No,
Not
it's not.
good at all.
Not at all. No, and it's
And,
it's.
and Ralph, it's all a money grab.
Oh, I
It's
know. Yeah, you were saying it was about the Benjamins last week or on Tuesday when you were on my radio show, and you were telling me about the Benjamins and and that's the way it is, and that's the way it is right now, and it's really sad that this is the state of college football. I mean, it's
Well,
really, you know,
yeah, they forgot about the players totally.
right,
And
right.
you know what? By the way, the Steelers just scored six
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, I'm
Pittsburgh.
watching it myself here
Yeah,
while we're talking here.
yeah,
So
yeah,
George Pickens,
yeah. You know what? And Kenny looks good. You know, he's moving around nice in the pocket. He got a little bit of a rush. He sidestepped it, and that's a
yeah,
heck of a throw. I mean, that's
yeah, it
not a
is.
big window there. That's for sure. But
No, not at
yeah,
all. But that was a good. Yeah, I just saw that myself. So
yeah. I'll tell you what, too, Ralph. Uh, do the math on this one. The
okay,
college football playoff. The three games usually net somewhere around $500 million. 2 years from now, they're going from 3 games to 11 games. They are estimating that that's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of between 1.5 and 2 billion. That's a B, billion
right,
dollars. Now, when they announce that, if they don't come up with a way to give a piece of the pie to the players, you're going to have a couple lawyers who are going to figure this out, and they're going to create an NCAA football union. And the NCAA wants no parts of that. But
right.
if they try to go out and say, well, we're going to pocket 1.5, oh man, will that be ugly?
Yeah, well, right now the players are getting an NIL. They had a guy on today or this morning actually, who's been on my show, Noah House from the Post Gazette. He was on this morning on one of my competitors' shows, and he said uh, that Pitt has started the NIL. They're giving the players X amount of money, and for this year, and that's good. I mean, I'm glad that Pitt has finally has gotten with the program, considering the loss of Jordan Addison, and I think that was their wake up call. You know, when they lost Jordan Addison to NIL and
Yeah,
the USC.
yeah, he got bought.
Oh
and,
yeah,
I tell you what, I give Coach N a lot of credit. He came out and said it point blank. He got bought. You know,
yeah.
he didn't try to say, oh, you know,
No, he
and,
didn't dance around it. No, not at all.
and
And I like Coach Narduzzi because he tells it like we do, like it is. I mean, we tell
yeah,
it the way we see it here, and we don't leave nothing out. And just like this past week on Monday, I said that the jail warden here at our jail should be fired because he was dancing around questions in front of the jail board. Would you know it? On Tuesday, he announced he's stepping down September 29th. Isn't that interesting?
yeah,
Because I watched the jail board meeting, and it turns out that he was dancing around a whole bunch of questions that one of the county council people were asking him that's on the board. And I mean, he danced around like 10 questions. One thing I don't do, Leo, is dance. And I don't like people who dance around questions. And I've been on several boards of directors and in some union stuff. I don't like people who dance around questions like that. And that's and Narduzzi didn't dance around it. He said it like he thought it would be, and
yeah,
that's
it,
where we are there. So
exactly. And I'll tell you what, the NCAA, Ralph, I'm going to make this prediction. In 2 or 3 years, football is going to break away from the NCAA. They're going to just create their own football conference.
right,
It's probably going to be the Power Four by then, because the
right,
Pac-12, I don't think they're going to survive.
no,
But it's going to be the Power Four. There's going to be between 16 and 20 teams in each of them, and there's so much money there. They're just going to walk away from the NCAA and say, no, 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 we're not having this. You know, this is just too
right.
much money.
Well, if the
Yeah.
NCAA doesn't do anything to stop it, that's what's going to happen. And
Well,
what's going on right now is the NCAA is not doing anything to stop it.
no, and yeah, I'm going to go back and jump on the NCAA because once the O'Bannon rule came down and they lost, they had to have somebody in that office say, "Hey, it's coming down. We're going to have to pay these guys. There's
Right,
no way around it." And the fact that the NCAA just said, "Well, you know, we're going to let Congress decide." Oh, what a mistake that! And I'll tell you what, when she Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh came out and said, This is the worst business model I've ever seen. I don't know how it even works, where you have all your employees working and you don't pay them. And again, it's they're saying, well, we give them scholarships, and nah, let's not uh, let's not even try to get behind that facade, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Tom says NCAA will prevent anything drastic from happening. They couldn't afford to lose college football. I don't. That's what I. I agree. Tom agrees with what I said, and I agree with what he just said. I don't think the NCAA is going to let that happen, but who knows? You
You
know what
know
I
what,
mean?
Ralph? They
Yeah.
may not have a choice.
Right.
They may just say we're leaving. Well, what are you going to do? You know,
Right.
if the SEC and the Big Ten decide to leave, what are you going to do? You can't say, well, you got to stay in. There's just no. You're left
Well,
holding the
that's like
bag. That's for
Well, that's
sure.
like that live golf thing, Leo. When all those golfers went to the live, and now live merged back with PGA, and now there's all this big scuttlebutt about all the money and everything, and these golfers and everything. That was a mess, So
Oh,
if we're going in that direction with the football and NCAA, that could happen.
yeah. In fact, you talk about a mess with golf. How would you like to have been Tiger Woods or Rory McIlroy that left 600 and 800 million on the table by staying with the PGA, and then the PGA sold them out? Ooh,
Yeah, I know.
yeah. And you
That
know
was
what? I, I, I just don't understand the PGA's thinking here,
mhm,
because you're fighting the Saudis, who, as
right,
long as there's automobiles, are going to have more money than God, or as much
absolutely.
money as God. So they don't care. They're just throw money out, boom, boom, boom. And I don't know if you saw this, Ralph, but when the agreement came to pass, it said that the PGA was going to keep its nonprofit status. I'm saying, whoa, hold on there.
Exactly.
I'll bet a lot of legislators sat up and say, how are they a nonprofit?
Yeah, well,
Crazy.
that's like here we have UPMC health center or health system. They claim they're a nonprofit, but they don't know how to act like a nonprofit. And for years now, 3 city mayors have tried to stop it, and have stopped them from being a nonprofit. If you're a nonprofit, act like one. They don't act like a nonprofit. They screw over their employees. They won't let them form a union. There's all kinds of stuff that the UPMC does behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. And what happens is when you do stuff like that, and and you're supposed to be a nonprofit, but then again, you don't even want to pay. You want to what is that discount on your taxes or something, or they can't pay X amount of taxes because they're a nonprofit status. Well, why? They're making money. They're always after everybody for money. So how's that a nonprofit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
nonprofit name only, right, Ralph?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And this was some deal that was cut with the city government many years ago. And now the 3 city mayors have tried to get rid of it, and it's just not working. And I don't know what they've done to stop it from happening. And, politics is always, something that happens there. Real quick, Leo, we only have about 6 minutes left in the program, and I want to get to the Steeler game as well as you want to get to the Tampa game a little bit.
Mm.
Uh, it seems like this situation now. We just made a deal with Iran to bring back some hostages from Iran. We got that guy. He's from Pittsburgh, from Oakmont. His name's Vogel, still sitting over in Russia. The government keeps telling the family that they're going to bring him home, but now they bring these people from Iran home, made some kind of, I don't know what kind of trade they made, and I don't even want to know, especially with this administration. I'm tired of this government kissing butt. All right. What I want this government to do is I want them to send SEAL teams to all these countries and go get our people and bring them back. That's what I want them to do. And then I want them to go like this to them. Okay. All right.
Bye bye. Yeah.
Because if Donald Trump was president right now, despite the fact we've had our conversations about him, despite he would have all the SEAL teams going over in these countries and getting these people and bringing them back. It would be there wouldn't be no, oh, I'm going to give you this money or I'm going to give you that person. No, You're either going to release our people or I'm sending SEAL teams over to go get them.
You
So
know what, Ralph?
what do you think of that?
When he dropped that Moab, the mother of all bombs, on Afghanistan, I said,
Yeah.
okay, he sent a message. That was a
Oh yeah,
message to you know what this is a whole new day over here in Washington D.C. You mess with me,
yeah,
I
exactly.
got something for you.
And I liked it. I mean, I actually liked it. I thought, well, you know what? I like this guy. I like him for not, kissing up to the Middle East and kissing up to some of these other countries. And then, with North Korea, he went over and told that guy, stop launching these missiles. And if it hits my country, I got trillions of dollars worth of brand new equipment. I will be more than happy to blow you up.
Yeah,
So before you can even get a missile off, I'll be more than happy to blow you up. So one thing I will admire Trump was for that. Now we have a government here. It's always, well, we got to make a trade, or we got to give them this person, we got to give them that person. It's, I don't like it. It makes our country look weak. And then the evacuation of Afghanistan, I wasn't very pleased with that. And Trump said he could have had everybody out in 24 hours because he would have had a better game plan. But he was the one that made this arrangement with the Taliban. I don't get this arrangement either. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
it,
There's plenty of blame to go around for the Democrats
oh
and
yeah,
Republicans, definitely.
absolutely. Yes,
And
there is.
and the biggest problem is they can't govern.
Right,
I mean, it's a mess down in Washington D.C. because they just won't get along. I mean, you got to bury the hatchet and govern, because right now, you know, the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to come out and the government is going to go broke, and they're going to have to pass another emergency spending bill. And
right.
you know what? I have no trouble with cutting back spending. You know, I
Oh, we lost Leo there for a minute. Oh, there you go.
yeah, that was Peter calling me up, probably telling me how bad Baker Mayfield looks. But you know how that
my
is.
co-host, my co-host, Smoking Jim Frazier, loves Baker Mayfield on Sports Corner. So
He's looking good so far. Well, the defense just got lit up on the first drive, so we'll see what
yeah.
happens. But yeah, all right, Ralph.
All right.
Another fast
Thanks.
30 minutes.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Leo. And thanks for being on. We'll see you again next Friday. And thanks for being on Tuesday on the Sports Corner Radio Show, where we talked about Tampa Bay Buck football, and we'll see what happens tonight with this game.
Absolutely. Hey, you have a great weekend, Ralph.
You too, Leo. Thank you so much. The Leo Haggerty, as always, as we're here with our new show, telling it like it is. And Bill Bree says yes, and Tom says, especially with NIL, it's literally funded by boosters. Absolutely. And so there we are. All right. I want to talk to you today about Hillcrest Farm in Richmond, Ohio. I just got word today on my messenger. Somebody asked me for the information about Hillcrest Farm. They want to go up there, or they want to have meat delivered. You can do the same thing. The phone number is 740-346-5442 or 740-632-2894. Not too far from Pittsburgh, 45 minutes from downtown in Steubenville, up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. Call Hillcrest Farm today. They have package deals, variety box, roast box, and the ground beef box. You can also check out their email at Hillcrest, or email them at hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com if you have any details of anything you want to know, and also for directions to get to the farm. And also, you can check out their website at www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com, and they have a Facebook page called Hillcrest Farm. Before we go, I want to talk to you about Draft 412. Get hold of Draft 412 today. Get on their website, draft412.com, and check out Draft 412. I'll tell you what, $9 a month for a subscription. They give you an e-magazine where they break down all the players involved in anything connected with any kind of sports in any kind of draft, whether it's NBA, NHL, or baseball, or football. Any kind of draft, anything, they will break it all down for you. So Joe Kuglis, Dave Finoli, JT Toth, they all run a great show there. And they also have some podcasts. So check out their podcasts as well. Joe does one on Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631, every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. So you can watch or listen to Sports Corner Radio, or from 5 to 6 p.m. on Beaver County Radio, or You can also check out Joe's show at 9 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Don't forget tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m., the External Bum podcast. Myself, Scott Morganroth, Joe Kuglis, Mark Mancini. We talk about bums and sports and other sports stuff. That's tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. All right, everyone, have a great night, and thank you. It's been another edition of Telling It Like It Is. I want to thank everyone for their comments, watching. Have a great one. See you next week. Have a good one. Good night.